So guys, welcome back to a new video of TRYHACKME. In the previous video, we completed our Jupyter 101 room, and as I said, we will just begin with our leftover beginners room, which were I guess we left up to NMAP. So we will complete NMAP room in this video. I won't be explaining much about this room for now. Just click on start machine as it will take 1 minute to start. You can find many videos, and I am thinking of making a series in Hindi of explaining all the rooms in detail. So as we already know, NMAP is a tool for scanning ports of an IP or a website or server on which it's running, and whether it's filtered like behind a firewall antivirus, it's open or it's closed, so that we can search for vulnerabilities and attack the machine. As you can see, when we visit 3 different sites from our local machine, they are accessed via different ports. In this case, it was 62.53.4 with and another one is 42.96.7 and another one is 47.52.3. Whereas the servers transfer the data via the port 443. You can just say as this is our home and these are the different doors to get to the different places. You can take an example of a hotel or a restaurant where behind one door is a swimming pool, another door leads to a bathroom, another door for the bar, and like many other things. So you can read it by yourself. I will just copy the IP address for further usage, and let's just connect to our OpenVPN first. We'll just head to our downloads, sudo OpenVPN, followed by the file name. And as I said earlier, don't be under a VPN service as it won't connect, it will show some error. So as we get an initialization sequence completed, we are now connected to the TRYHACKME servers. Let's begin with the questions. Now for task 1, it's asking what networking constructs are used to direct traffic to the right application on a server. Those are the ports. As I said, they work as a door. And how many of these are available on any network enabled computer? So basically there are 65,535 ports. You can just search for it on the Google. And it says we need to do some research that how many of these are considered well known. Means we already know what are they used for, means what services are they registered for. So if you just Google for this, as I show you, so it says well-known ports range from 0 through 1023, that is total are 1024. So that's the solution here. Now the next task 3 is NMAP switches. So here we need to do map on NMAP, or we can do NMAP -H for the help page and man for the manual page. And it says that for this part of switches, it starts with a hyphen in the beginning. We already know that switches are written using the tach or the minus command. So we'll just do map NMAP here. Now let's back to the questions. Now it's asking what is the first switch listed in the help menu for scene scan. So let's just check for scene scan. Let me just have a look. Where is it? So let's just do the, I guess, NMAP package. I already know the solution, but I will just search it for you. So the problem was for scene scan. So as you can see here, tag s small s and capital S is for the sync scan. Another one is HT, SA, SW and SM for connect, ACK, window and mainmon scans. So it's asking the first switch listed in the help menu. So it already stated we need to go to the help menu, but I went to the man page. I'm sorry for that. So the solution will be tag as capital S. And now it's asked which switch would you use for a UDP scan. The solution is minus S capital U, as you can see here. So now next, if you want to detect which operating system the target is running on, which switch would you use? So for that we use tag capital O. So here it says for operating system enable OS detection we use tag capital O minus capital O. And now NMAP provides a switch to detect the version of the services running on the target. What is this switch? So for the version you can just tell by its name that it should be V. So for here version info it's minus SV. Now the default output provided by NMAP often does not provide enough information for a pen tester. How do you increase the verbosity? So it says if you need more information about the target, what switch will be used to gain more about the systems we are searching for. So here it says increase verbosity level, use minus minus V for more or greater effect. So for lower it should be minus V. Now verbosity level 1 is good, but level 2 is better. How do you set the level to note? It is highly advisable to always use at least this option. So when we attack on a machine or I will solve further boxes, so we will use this option to get more information of the machine. So now the next question is what switch do you use to save the NMAP result in 3 major formats? So it says save the output hour scans and more details. So it's for scans we just see for it. So it says minus ON output scan in normal. That should be the solution. OA output in 3 major format at once. So that's the solution OA. Now which switch would you use to save the NMAP result in a normal format? So that should be minus ON. Now a very useful output format. How do you save results in a grippable format? So let's just see for that. Should be OG, I guess. I can't find it here. When just go for that, it should be minus OG. And now it says for some setting we can enable aggressive mode. This is a shorthand switch that activates service detection on operating system and furthermore. So how can I activate? So the solution is tag A. And NMAP offers first level of timing template. How do you set the timing template to level 5? So be careful though, higher speeds are noisier and can incur errors. So for that the solution is minus TS, that should be in capital. Now how do you tell NMAP to scan ports on only scan port 80? So that for that we use tag P for describing the port and it says port 80, so we'll just go for port 80. You can find it here also. Let me just show you. So as you can see, -p port ranges only scan specified ports. Example, -p followed by the port. I'm not submitted this, sorry. Showing wrong, sorry, it should be 5 as it says 5 seconds. Sorry, level 5, so it should be T5. Now it says how do you tell NMAP to scan ports 100 to 1500. So as you can see, for range it should be like this, followed by a hyphen, or you can say tag. So it should be -p 1000 -1500. So now a very useful option that should not be ignored. How would you tell NMAP to scan all ports? So for that it should be -p- for scanning all the ports. You can find it here too. I'll find it, I'll just show you later on. So now how do you activate a script from the NMAP scripting library? Lot more on this later. So for activating the activating the script library, we use the script function. So this script switch. And how do you activate all of these scripts in the one category? You can just go for script first, then equal to 1. You will all learn this and remember this when you use them with your machines and many more. So now this task is scan types overview. So when photo scanning with NMAP, there are 3 basic scan types: HT, SS, SU. HT for connect TCP connect scans, SS for cyan, and for UDP it's SU. Now for additional it's -SN, -SF, -SX. You can just read about this in the YouTube videos. So now it's here we have a, I guess, Wireshark captured file here. Yes, it is a packet captured in the using the man in the middle via Wireshark software. You can learn about those more. I'm not gonna explain that here, as this video is only for write-up. Just tell you what are the solutions. So our first question is, which RFC defines the appropriate behavior for the TCP protocol? So now you can just Google for that the solution. So that will be RFC 793. Now if a port is closed, which flag would you use? So that will be RCF. RST. So now when we have a further detail on SYN scan, you can just read it here if you want. This shows how Wireshark captures and how the packets look when you capture the files. So we'll just move with the questions here. So now it's asking, there are 2 other names for a SYN scan. What are they? I guess you should find it here. So as you can see, it's referred to as half open scan or stealth scan. Let's just write that half open, stealth. And can NMAP use SYN scan without sudo permission? So no. If you want to do that, we need to give the admin permission to NMAP. So now our next task is UDP scan. So now it's asking, if a UDP port doesn't respond to an NMAP scan, what it will be marked as? So it will be marked as open, or if behind a firewall, it will be marked as filtered. So now when a UDP port is closed by convention, the target should send back a port unreachable message. Which protocol would it use to do so? So it will be ICMP. So that's correct for us. Now let's move to our task 8, that is null, fin and xmax. There's a part of TCP advanced packet capturing. You can just read this and find many YouTube videos explaining this. So let's move to the question. So here in the first question, it's asking which of three shown scans uses the URG flag. It's XMAS. Now why are null, fin and XMAS scan generally used? So that we can invade firewall successfully. So it will be firewall invasion. Sorry, EN. Sorry, evasion. So now it's asking which common OS may respond to a null, fin or XMAX scan with a RST for every port. So as we know, it's Microsoft Windows. So now further with ICMP networking scanning part, it's asking how do you perform a ping sweep on 172.168.x network. Netmark is this using NMAP CDR notation. So that will be starting from NMAP followed with the IP we need or the gateway and the netmask details. So that will be minus S capital N followed with the IP 172.16.x.x/16. Sorry, that will be .0.0. So yeah, it's completed. So now let's move to our NSC scripts overview. It's asking what language are NSC scripts written in. That's Lua. And which category of scripts would be very bad idea to run in a production environment. So for that, you can find it here. It will be, I guess, intrusive. Yes, not safe, likely to affect the target. So that will be intrusive. So now for working with the NSC, it says about many script and how should we use that with the arguments, with switches. So now for the solution, what optional argument can the FTP anon.nsa script take? That should be, I guess, max list. Yes. So now searching for scripts in this, it says how we can use grep. Grep is a tool which you can use for many other things like searching, finding for a word inside a document, piping it to some another file and more. So let's not just go to the script path and just search for that. I will just show you what are the solutions to this problem. So now let's move to this question part. So now it says search for assembly script in the user share NMAP script directory using either the demonstrated methods. So I won't be going there. I will just give you the solution. That will be SMB OS discovery .nsc. And for this one, read through the script. What does it depend on? It depends on the brute force. So it will be SMB cat brute. So now for firewall e- evasions. Let's open that. The solution to this PN switch will be ICMP, as we wrote earlier. And for the research, which is NMAP switch allows you to append an arbitrary length of random data. So for that, I guess it will be tac data length. Now for the practical, showing does the target respond to the ICMP ping request, yes or no, means we just need to attack this machine. I will just add another 1 hour, as this is going to be a practical. So let's start with these. So now it's asking for checking that this IP responds to that or not. So we just copy this IP, and for the ICMP checking we use the command ping. I will just clear this for now. Let's just use ping followed by the port. So if it responds to this command, it will return some packets like whether the packets was crashed or not. So it's not responding and we are not getting any data, so that means it's not responding. For example, if it would have been responded, so that will be like I just do google.com, so as you can see what data was sent and it was received back, but in the IP case it wasn't working, so that will be N. And now for perform an XMAX scan on the first 9 and 10 port of the target, how many ports are showed to be open or filtered? So now we'll just head back to the Kali, and for that we will use the command nmap minus. For the XMAX scan it should be small s capital X. Now for ports assigning it should be 0 to 999 followed by the IP. It's asking for root privilege, so I will just become root in my Kali only. So now we will run the command again as nmap minus sx minus p for port assignment. And followed by the IP, and I should use minus VV for verbose. So now as you can see, scan completed. So the SMP was blocked, so we need to run the command again followed by minus PN. It will take some time, so we'll just wait. So for that we will just go to another. So it says perform a TCP SYN scan on port first 5000 port. So let's just do that in another terminal also. Just become root for this also. So now for the code is nmap minus ss minus p 0 to 5000 followed by the IP, and for the speed we give it as T4 for verbosity minus VV followed by PN. So it will work on the port. Taking some time. This is working. This should be finished in few seconds or minutes, I guess. As I already know, we will get that all the ports are open and filtered, so we'll just proceed with the solution that will be 999, and the reason will be no responses. And for here we have 5 ports open, so we'll just do 5. It says for open Wireshark, you can just see. I will just do it completed, and it says deploy the FTP anon script against the box and NMAP login successfully to the FTP server on port 21. Yes or no? Still running here, so we'll just use this terminal. So it is minus nmap minus script equal to ftp dash anon.se followed by the IP verbosity minus p for 21 and minus p, and let's just wait as this can complete. Let's just wait for the time it completes. So it says it's completed and FTP login is allowed. So the solution will be yes here. So now for this last task conclusion, you can just go to the docs and read about this. I will just do completed for this, and now we have finally completed our room. And as I showed the last scan that we were doing, so it's finished. And as you can see, host is up. All 1000 scanned ports on this IP are open or filtered because of no response. So that's the thing we did it here. I'll just show you. So all the ports till 999 were open or filtered. The reason was no responses. So that's it in this video. We'll solve another challenge of beginners section. Till then, stay safe and thank you, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.